Welcome to Cabo Properties YouTube channel.
Good morning to you all. I appreciate on behalf of His Excellency the President, of course, particularly the Ministry of Lands, and I welcome you all to this conference, called press conference, on a matter whether they go on for some time now, we border on land ownership. But before I go to that one, let me just give you some brief information with respect to land governance itself. Because people get when they look at land business as a whole and see, get no side in terms of title. Just want to remind all Sierra Leoneans and say all land inside Sierra Leone, be it in the western area or in the provinces, all belong to the states, the government of Sierra Leone. All lands across Sierra Leone. Go to the national constitution and when I look at it, will tell when I say the land now it makes Sierra Leone a sovereign state. Land. And you go to the schedule, it will tell you the coordinates of the land where makes Sierra Leone a sovereign state. So any outside land in the state they get her. And the government of Sierra Leone in get her. In Freetown, now a direct ownership, western area. All land in the Crown Colony in the western area belong to the states. So if you get land where the title of that land not emanates from the state, not you get her. And the state never convey to you in the western area. Also in bonds is the same thing. The land within are two locations there, in addition to that of also the islands there, and the state get them. Nobody get them. So if you say that you get them, you don't buy them from Mr. A. Mr. A, where you don't buy them from, any own title for them come out from the states. So if you don't get them, then whatever document again are false, na forger. And falsified documents. So people like in the past, they call, I don't go here, so we know it's everything they have in this country for quite some time. So for correct, most of that thing and dynamic now will get land reform will take place under the land administration project with this ministry. They implement. In the provinces, the land is there in the custody of the chiefs on behalf of the states. In the provinces, the land is there in custody of the chiefs on behalf of the states. So this question, I can hear people like, oh man, this person they talk to, this person they joke to. No, now the state, the government of Sierra Leone get all land. Because that land makes Sierra Leone a sovereign state. So I think so, we don't understand that today. No, so. Don't know that, no, so. So this joke here, all man, they want to sell this, that. We go for stopper. And we go for allow the development take place in Sierra Leone. And the only way development will take place as Sierra Leone, who will use the land rightly. Not the way you go grab and you joke here and there. And sitting here may not allow you for them to make profit out of your misfortune. You go take all the land, then somebody they pass 1 town lot, for them go below 2 town lot, then you go take, you say you get 400 acres, 600 acres, especially inside western area. They miss long and you are in us and they agree. The same right you get as a Sierra Leone, and this other man, when I'm Mr. V, he still gets. So you can't say the state land or they go sell and you make profit, you buy the big one to buy the go up, and now people have admired you, the other people, so I didn't agree. So the only way you go do for the prayer God. For the prayer God, they fast, for them put me in the house, the other person can't see, so they go compromise, and I did one. So that's the situation that we have. Today, we get so many cases that they run at the court with land grabbers. Now, because they don't refuse it and they agree for let it pass through me, now they don't go to the court. They want to use the court now for take all the land at the western area particularly. But we said they take with them for go explain to the courts. So that we will get the land and they will be able for distributors to say, Leone and say, but who fed nobody, but if a few people are not going to get the land, first the day. If now so it's not the happen of late, inside western area don't cost more, not because of we're too powerful. No, now because we don't make too many people, they don't also get access to land. So first not they get more Kuba land business. You don't get teachers, they don't get, nurses, they don't get. Then the civil servants, they don't get. Then military, they don't get. Police, they don't get. Okada riders, they don't get. So that's all the distributors, small. They all man get small, but some man, they know all things for this one. They will grab now, they didn't sell a bag there, and the other people. We agree. So we call this press conference here today. We can't explain certain things so don't see what we go around, like social media, particularly, and other press houses. That's therefore do with a case where one Honorable Rosalind Hawasafa, they gave for report to His Excellency the President. His Excellency the President, they therefore invite to all our State House. We go, the complainant explain. His Excellency the President say, well, there is a minister with 90 charge of land governance as a Leone. So I said, all go to that minister. Let the ministry go investigate and make sure say they come out with the report. The ministry, under the chairmanship of course, is Chief Minister, when I realized in all of that, because the office of His Excellency gave the assignment, so the Chief Minister was supervising the whole process. So the ministry investigated that particular report in terms of land ownership. We don't submit that report to the office of the President. The Chief Minister and the Chairman, and the decision was taken on that report. From that day to now, all kinds of things we don't see on social media, all kinds of things we don't see on them newspapers and whatever. All kinds of course we don't see. So today we decide to say no, let us come and present that report to the public. Not only going to public owner, somebody don't grab, they don't go to public, they pay now, then journalists, they pay then social media, bloggers, then here and there, they just the course with the blackmail government. So we say, well, let us come and present this report the way it is to members of the public and particularly the press. For let's say Leoneans they know the pains and problems they go through in terms of land governance. Let's say Leoneans they understand what other Sierra Leoneans they do to other Sierra Leoneans. That is the reason to the whole dinner. So I think say after today, the social media will be satisfied. The journalists then also will be satisfied. Now what will they do? They just they do no more because one, but they do it in a professional manner. If you go take 1 or 2 bottles of whiskey, you go to their community there, you go give the hitman, and the hitman talks, yeah, this land is so we are electrical. Then you think that you right? Not that you right. And let me also remind Sierra Leoneans that when they say you're a hitman, your responsibility is people's management. Your responsibility has nothing to do with land governance. Not to your business for manage land. Your business now where small quarrel in their communities a day. You bring that to the attention of government if you're able for solve. So your responsibility is for manage the human relations in your community, in your village. And that's your responsibility. Especially for the Western area, you hate man. You get no business for take community land, they sell them. Where they talk now, they hide now behind. These are community land. Community land are land where the government they give to the community for specific purpose.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For markets, for school, for church, for hospital. These are the community lands. So not do you business for go take them for sell them. You have no business doing that. So what let's say Leoneans they know that. Let's say Leoneans they know that. Because now I don't see now that the new gold mine that when they say in my election, people will kill themselves because of land. And who will really nobody sell land again? Because when you go away, who they sign up? Who they sign up? Once you know say this is state land, who they sign up? So So I want to tell them, plenty thank you, and I don't take my time to hire. I will now invite the director of service, whether the professional head of the ministry. This is not your business. This. Me na political leadership be the key. But we can't do wait till a government land, or wait not to government land, and you work land. So you don't do the investigation in your department. So that they present now that report to members of the public. So that when I go be rest assured, say, no, don't do the assignment, I will do it in a transparent manner. So having said that, I will ask the director whether he presents. The deputy minister will be in charge. I'm having another meeting at State House. I have to go now.
This thing we serve as a ministry, don't the money we don't do everything for resolve these disputes among the parties, but we know fit say they're self ready. So the ministry we don't take this to a different level. We don't go do a thorough investigation, and prior to that investigation, we get all the parties and we be involved or submit and documents them, and we, as part of our investigation procedures, we start with the verification of the documents then, and after we check physically on the ground, and we see if waiting in a paper and waiting in a ground are the same, and we also check if the paper is correct, and we also look at how you get the property, whose side you get them from, the documentary you get them from, if it is correct, because we get the new trend of activities that we don't see. People and they try for launder land through a process. We call it land laundry. We normally look at the documents someone how he gets. We look at who side he come out, how you get and take them to this point to the claim now. So this a matter we therefore deal with some members of the public. We get the main parties into this conflict. One, Mr. Umaru Napoleon Kuruma, and two, Honorable Hawa Rosalind Safar. Honorable Napoleon Kuruma and Honorable Rosalind Safar. These are the two major people in the conflict. We've been asking them for submit documents them, and all the submit documents them. And they go through the documents and they submit one after another. One for Mr. Umaru Napoleon Kuruma, they been submit a document when a statutory declaration registered in volume 56 at page 113, dated 28 November 2014, enclosing survey plan with delineated LS number 412/14, dated 9th May 2014, bearing the name of one plot 1, a property we get 3 different plots. Plot 1, the name will be needed at Alpha Chroma, we cover 9.7 acres. Plot 2, the name we did in Mr. Joseph Kamara, it cover 9.9 acres. Plot 3, Mr. Mendy Silvanos James Bangura, we cover 9.7 acres of land we did Bathurst Road, Gloucester. And let us project this Leone see clearly which we talked about. I put the image under let see. The property we talk about in yellow boundary. This one we see here, a property where, if you look at this map there, you see one plot in there where it comes so let I just untick all the wires so that we get them clear. We get 3 different plots. This first one here, the second one here, and the third one here. These are the 3 yellow plots in this. For second third, now I just take this one off so that we get this clear. So if you see the one where they put on and off, and the plot and now they get 3 plots. Now you see I said 3 plots, right? Plot 1, plot 2, plot 3. So I just say I like that for everyone to see. Okay? Now, this na the document where Mr. Umaru Napoleon Kuma, Honorable Umaru Napoleon Kuma, he said, okay, we'll come to Honorable Hawaii Rosalyn Safar, he will give you a conveyance where they registered in volume 765, page 24, dated 10th March 2016, which includes a survey plan delineated with LS number 619-10, and it been dated 26 March 2010 with plot 1 and 2, bearing the name of Development Initiative Program, covering an area of plot 1, 10.2124 acres, and plot 2, 6.3565 acre for land situated and being at Bathurst, Gloucester Road, Bathurst Village. Now, I will take on to that property there. I'm gonna see. I think it will take time for load because of this image. We'll have to so it will be faster. This the property we talk about now, a property where this is a property where when I see the highlight so on and off. This one, this property within when I see I'm can't say when I see I'm waiting in pink. This way in pink boundary. Okay? So now the property what we talk about. Okay? Now our level can display the map and zoom and in for them to see the road, the Bathurst Gloucester road we talk about. For now, for Gloucester, I see the property we use. Then it will also give you another conveyance where register in volume 707, page 15, where 18th March 2013, where we get LS number 5161, where dated 14th March 2012, we bearing the name of Action for Community Transformation and Sponsorship. We get 2 plots. We have plot 1, 2.39 acre, and plot 2, 3.45 acre. Where the property is, we combine them together, where they go with 5 point something acres. This one. Okay? This property is the one in red. Okay? The one in red. Okay? So these are the property where it begins a split in the middle. For some reason, we just summarize on 2. We combine the 2. Now, this is a total of over 5 acres, where a combination of 2.3945 acre plus 2.34 plus 2 and 3.45 acres. So 2.39 acres and 3.45 acres, they give 5 point something acres. So this is a property what we talk about. 99 so in red. Okay? This is the property in red. Okay? So that's the other property where it submits. And a conveyance, the third document where it submits again, a conveyance registered in volume 745, page 12, dated 19 February 2015, enclosing survey plan with delineated 45 LS number 4510/12, dated 20th of June 2012, and under the name of Development Initiative Program, where there 5 acres instead of 2 plots, 5 acres, 5.45 acres, and another 5.45 acres, where there are 2 different plots there. So all instead of Bathurst, Gloucester, at all road. So this is the property we talk about in red again. This other red. Oh, you see the first red we talk about when are 5 acres, we talk is this one, and we talk about the other 5 acres when are this 10 acres when are this one. Okay? So when we look at this one, these are the two property then where they submit for this area. Of course, these are the third one now where I was supposed to submit. So now take note of the two red then, and this one are pink where they up here, when are the three property then that way they don't submit. Then we also get a survey site plan for development initiative again, where it been sent, where na development initiative when I been LST 465/16, when I been a resurvey and amendment to this 4501, we then do. Now, this is a property where they talk about. The 4501, they talk about this one, when at 2010, and we talk about the one where they do the resurvey. Now, this property where they resurvey, nine fall, na yeah. This is a resurvey where they talk about. Now, let me take note. Normally, when we do a resurvey of property, we can get the reason why people do a resurvey. It is either this property na yeah, you don't get some small adjustment, or maybe this baking sometimes they don't add small points or so, or sometimes they don't reduce panel, and that makes them they do a resurvey. Okay. Now, but for do a resurvey, then the land move from Musa Ide and completely come now this other points now this one way in light blue now. You see, it not only shift completely from in location, it also come completely na a different location, but a bigger, even comparatively bigger than within the get. So I will come explain again waiting lead to some of them situations and day. So just so that we know, see the three property them, one of them like this pink, where it is submit, then one of them, the other one this red. This red way is in also, and the other one, this other red now. So when they deal with this first red way they don't resurvey, we don't come to this one. Okay? We don't come completely in a totally different position. Then when they deal with another red, we in this way now we can to site survey plan behind the name of development initiative again delineated LS 346 of 16. Which is a resurvey and amendment of plot 1 and 2 of 5161. Now they tell me I say this red have been two plots where they combine at plot 1 and 2. Okay? So now in the resurvey, when they resurvey them now, let me resume again. So it becomes a long plot when that have been put plot 1 and plot 2 where they combine so now. And when they resurvey them, now we end up forget this other one where I like so now. This one. You see, so this was done in 2016, and this one was done in 2016. So it appears as if there was some problems with those two properties, and that was why it was redone in 2016. When they get the two properties, then we see that they share common boundary. But then we see two surveys that was done for property, then we suppose for share perfect boundary, where this red and this other red. According to the investigation we do, they surveyed two property in 2010. They're supposed to share a common boundary, but they end up for share. They end up for get a big gap between them. So in 2016, and can do then two surveys there, we can get this one and this other one. So if you look, the plan the two properties will get the same color, this light blue. Now the two properties then are way like a resurvey of them two red. Okay, so this is the 2016. Resurveys and ready to do. Then we come again. A survey sites plan, we in a development initiative program, we in a LS 2608 in 2016 again, then do a resurvey of the other third property, we give it up to 19 acres. We in this now. So if we look at this pink, we will get a resurvey of farm, we then do this pink having 16 acres. So when they do a resurvey, we end up forget this one. we during 19 acres. So we find out say there is also a shift of this property from the initial survey in 2016. 2016 I been the pink, when I this, then sorry, the 2010 I been the pink, when I this, then the 2016 now this one with the resurvey. Okay. Now, these are the documents and we then submit. Then another document again we then submit. Now document for a letter of undertaking for the counter signature of survey plan we then submit for NASIT, for sign NASIT and plan from the documents of 15 we na LS number 1500/98 we did Gloucester and Bathurst respectively. We na LS number 1500 of 1998. Okay, it submits the letter of undertaking for counter signature of survey plan submitted for NASIT at Gloucester when I subdivision and plan for 15 LS 1500 of 98. Now, again, he submits another report where they do in 2016 when I a matter between Ekudisi Thomas and our Safa, Stella Scott, Stella and Elizabeth Scott, Alpha Kuroma, Mendy Silvanos, James Bangura, Umaru Kuroma, Abulai, Badem Babari, and Ibrahim Joe Sami. So that was an investigation where they been do where is submitting reports there again. Now, as part of the investigation again, the government have noticed this therefore do it part of property in a government land. So government will therefore include as part of the check a conveyance when volume 765 page 113 dated 19th March 2016 we get a big plan we cover 1,675.3 acres of land when the government property we cover that entire area there. Now this time the one way government they submit now in green, so this time we always refer to as Gloucester Saddle. This one really in green, na Gloucester Saddle property is na government property. Okay, so make I just clear anyone in here that we see outside the green boundary day around here. You see the green boundary I want to take Kanaya, it comes so, they come all the way now, it come. Yeah. So we see clearly, we don't see the green boundary. So these are the Gloucester Saddle boundary. These are property when are from War Department. The colonial masters now the property that this way they left with the government, now that entire Gloucester Saddle day. These are property we cover. If we look at this area, some of them property here, now property them way they over them party here. If we come, most of them party here now area the way they around Wellington, Kisi axis. So for some of our wedding now, we feel say most of the time we go around Wellington up the hills with the town national government property, just so that you know say this na property where government get 1,675 acres of land. We cover all the area they see them there. Okay, so that we therefore include them as part of the investigation because we notice say all them claim property without the income near their property they did. So we start with investigation. We carry out the investigation in 3 steps. The first one, we do a thorough verification of the documents and we submit. Then the second one, we do we generate a composite plan from the document that we then submit. We don't see so based on the coordinate within the plan. And now make this very clear. If you get property, we sign them now we records and waiting to show them that coordinate within that plan and we records now we sign. So if they been do a wrong survey for you, you tell me say no the property now I fall, no, we don't accept them. The reason why possibly if they been do a correct survey, you can process out for don't identify say that particular area there na where we see I'm saying the correct way don't go survey, so therefore don't pick them up say either somebody didn't get there or government property been there will not be for sign up. So the one who don't sign, where if an error them in do, that is the property where we refer to who we do the investigation for plotter. So Lord make them very clear. So we also, as part of the investigation, we also go do site visit for verify, written in the paper if not ending at the ground. And we recently now, as part of this investigation, when I see the image will be displayed on the back, we go there purposely for this investigation specifically. We go fly drone and capture everything where they did at the time, so that we will see clearly within the existing. So now, this now we findings. This now we make I just display the drone imaging where we been go fly. This now the drone image we just cover the small area where the investigation they cover, so just so that we know. You see, these are the drone imaging. Now this is a high resolution drone imaging where I will just zoom in on one small side. Let's gonna see our capture just some part of the road so that we will see exactly what we talk about. So we'll see how the drone they capture. Every small mountain now this we see clearly. So this now as part of our investigation, this now waiting will be do go fly them drone here. We capture everything on the ground. And we'll go for the zoom in to the image that we see clearly what it will mean. Again, we can't give the findings now, waiting we get from the investigation. From the investigation, we verify the documents and we them submit. The details on the survey plan, we get the 3 plots. When Mr. Alpha Kroma, plot 1, we cover 9.7 acre. Plot 2, Joseph Kamara, we cover 9.9 acre. And plot 3, when Mendy Silvanus James Bangura, we cover 9.7 acre. Within a Gloucester Bathurst Road, we get LS number 412/14. Dated 9th of May 2014. We thoroughly check them against we digital and manual records them who get the office of the director of provincial lands and was found to be not authentic. Okay, the document that not been there now with system and not be authentic, and that's the entry where line surveyor records where we get in order to, and that LS 412/14, a 412/14 where they plan the name within our records. Now one sorry, where now for land within a block N37A low cost housing estate EC. Okay, so that plan we get plot 1, 2, 3, that big plot in order at the records. Okay, and we this property we talk about that LS number then for one property when be half town lot when 0.0408 acre when just half a town lot and was signed by this ministry at the 10th of March 2014 will be signed up as a subdivision of one property where they been do we be get LS number LS 1894/2004 where na for that particular property they come out. Then we also get survey plan where the name of development initiative program for land with the Bathurst Gloucester village instead of check them was thoroughly checked. We get both plots then. Wow, they don't explain this now. We check them thoroughly against both the digital and manual records of the office of the director of land, and it was not processed and signed by this ministry. So it was also not authentic. Okay, so this now the other plan we our SAFA we submit. Okay, itself not be authentic, and for all of them thing and they after this meeting for the journalists them, anybody who want to get extra verification we get the records that will make available for privacy sake. We not go display another because we get other records and we deal within that. Okay, now a survey plan bearing the name Action for Community Transformation and Sponsorship again. Where now for a land where our SAFA be submit again we did na then area then they we cover the 2 plots, we make up the 5 acre for the other small long red plot way in day. We check out thoroughly. Now we records, and it was not processed and signed by this ministry as provided for by law. So itself not authentic in order that the records. So the 2 property then we talk about so far so good. Let me just move this. We talk about these 2 red and we talk about. There are 2 the initial documents, the winner form and the preliminary surveyor, they're not in the records. So the first one you want to say not in the records, and this one way gets this 3 plus 1, 2, 3, and it's not in the records. Okay, so all of the documents are not in the records. Now they came again in survey plan guide, the name of development initiative. We get 19 acre. Now we have be 19 acre. We happen for come out from this other one. This one we talk about. So this one will have be 19 acres. We come out from these 16 acres. We say that these 16 acres the resurvey. Itself was signed in error. Okay, it was signed in error. What does that mean? It means they don't see them along part of the process. Like we get several stages and we process and go through. We before you reach the office of the director of surveys and lands. So when you check if plan enter, then you see if you go through that process. Then if sign the way for confirm say they enter and come and actually process. But we don't get any trace of who signed the plan enter for processing. But at the end of the day, they say they sign them as a resurvey. So now some of the things that way I can explain how it can happen. So that was also signed in error. So in most of the time, we see plan they sign in error. The Survey Act, the Survey Ordinance provide for let the director of surveillance council and planning be signed in error. So that is also another findings we'll get for that particular property. And for survey plan, we get development initiative program. Also, Bathurst covering an area of plot 1 and plot 2 with a 4.4578 acre. We get this one, which is a subdivision of LS 1500/98 was thoroughly checked against the digital and manual records at the Office of the Director of Surveys and Lands, and it was not processed and signed by the ministry as provided for. So it is also not authentic. So this one, not only that they do a resurvey of this property, we can become the 10 acres Naya, but it also, even the resurvey itself not authentic. So we don't notice most of them property here, we then get we get another one when a property bearing the name of Ekudaisi Thomas. We now the master plan for them property here we our Safa gets we na form and buy them property then they cover a total of 79.6467 acres delineated on LS 1500/98. We thoroughly check them. We find out say itself not be authentic. Okay, so it not be authentic. Now, if the master plan not authentic, then the subdivision, if you not claim, you don't get something you not claim. So anything we come up from that one day, you not claim. So these are the composite plan we I don't display so. And we also get, as part of this, we get this property, we now the green, we now government property, as a ministry, we have get the responsibility for protect government property. So we find out say this other property within there, almost 90% of them, this one within there, almost 90% of them fall within the government property. This other within 19 acre, where they do way in certain authentic way come from a good I say a property within 2015 or so, in certain authentic, and government don't reclaim all of them property. We find out say it inside. So when we present this report to the president, office of the president, we been tasked the chief minister for ensure say we address this issue, and it been giving specific instructions. We've been presented with all the parties them, to this conflict they are represented in that meeting, and the chief minister been instruct say, one, as the investigation report also say, part of this property the inside government, let we reclaim within government gets, and left within the outside, whoever involved within the outside government property, let them go to court because this is purely private property. So then we go to court, go fetch themselves. So what we do this property, this area owner the CISO. Now the area of all the conflict area we fall within government property, So these are the part of all the property of blood laws. We do inside government property. If you see, these are the boundary where government gets 90 long years old, 9 council. Okay? 9 council. So this other part of the 19 acre with the outside government property here, because at the boundary this, at the boundary when they see so what are the council. So this other property with the outside, and this other one when I first strike on, they're already outside, and they were already outside, even this other one really outside. We are not interested, since people are claiming it privately, though with document that we not authentic, they have to go to court to go prove. A court ask we will provide the evidences that these documents are not authentic. But in the interest of a peaceful resolution, the instructions we had at the time was from the chief minister that we forego and demarcate this boundary and ensure say we deploy military personnel and they let none of them parties them no enter inside government property. Then number 2, and see that government will possess this property and reconsider a redistribution of the property here. Let government reconsider the parties that we involved, how we go distribute some part of this property we government will reclaim to some of them as they are Sierra Leoneans, and see how we can for retain the rest again as government property and redistribute it to members of the public. To some of them waiting up now, we want land, we wait for distribution to some of them. But the instruction we get, and for ensure say we reclaim this property as government property, and we reconsider the one that we involved by this dispute, and see how we can give them some part of this land as Sierra Leoneans, and then we retain the rest and redistribute them. So this is exactly within a big instruction. So we don't do this one, we don't do this investigation, we don't do this presentation to minister. They say the instructions we're gonna come present today and see how as a ministry we sit down again and reconsider the distribution of this property to the parties to the conflict and see. And how will they do it? When they look at the encroachment into government property, for example, we get first strike on, we notice a small part of this party away then come into this property. So if government therefore reconsider, let's assume say the encroachment into this property, now 5 acre, we'll never give them the 5 acre again, and this will give them possibly 2-3 acres, the case may be. That one in our management get for sit down and decide on that. Okay? We will sit down and discuss that. And this is a decision of the ministry as instructed or advised by the office of the president. So we also note that the instruction go further for say, the recover the property then, we also not only consider the parties to the conflict, but also let we consider members of the public who are not mentioned. So, Madam Minister, I tell you plenty thank you, and this is the presentation in a nutshell. So if anybody get any question for ask, may they ask.
Claude.
Thank you very much. We go want for make the Honorable Deputy Minister let say something.
Sorry.
Just at the Commissioner head on top, that site visit, actually, I mean, that visit. Yeah, thank you. After the meeting from the CM's office, they instruct us for more like sites. We just said more will see exactly which are the sites with the party then when they affected, within the claims management, with the community. And I need that meeting, that site is still being done. It was thorough, as you don't see where PH don't present. So now I think say, I don't get much to come but don't talk, all the I need to say. But some of the people when they're involved, they say they want to talk. For example, and I couldn't say one talk. So these people then feel not about men, so exactly what they want to say. The party they were actually here, so Napoleon please.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Minister. Thank you, Director, for the presentation. This finally the bring what I call a nightmare in the professional life as a lawyer. In 2009, I was hired as a lawyer to represent the people in Gloucester in respect of land let me say it belonged to them. Fast forward 2010, 11, 12, the survey plan was done and brought to me, and we do registration of their instrument. Me, a lawyer, I'm not a land expert. When the people there, they take possession of the land, then this dispute here be arise. Since 2013, we've been in and out of court. I have personally received several blackmails, attacks on me, my personal self, my family, and everything. I was representing the people of Gloucester, whose documents they began represented by Mr. Alpha, Mr. Mendy of blessed memory, and Mr. Kamara, I think says we don't die. I stood up to represent them in my professional capacity. It's rather unfortunate this whole thing can turn out for me between me and Madam Hawasafa. It was between the people of Gloucester and the other claimants, and me represent them as lawyer. And I'm ready to represent them now, today, and even in the hereafter if I have the opportunity. Because I know these are the ordinary people. I know the life attached to that land, and I know they were living on that land, and I know they were desirous of having authentic title to their land, so they go for utilize their land for their benefit and that of their children. However, when the ministry don't come, they don't do the investigation, the expert, I don't have that professional competence for denying what they have done. On behalf of my client them, we don't look, we will go further and study the report properly, but I'm going to go through and with a thorough presentation, I want to accept this report here on their behalf, and kindly plead again to the ministry as the custodian of land and how the minister end. And when you're doing the consideration of redistribution, those people who are attached to this land, who've lived their life for this land, let them be considered so that they will get part of this land there for continue their lives, something they have always fought for. And I support the people of Gloucester and the people of Bathurst. These are people and they have right to that land because of waiting them. They don't live all their lives. Their grandfather and their people, then they be their own people that they live there. So on that note, as a lawyer, we will represent them. I don't know if Mr. Alpha don't sack me as lawyer. If we still continue to forget me as lawyer, we say I don't speak on their behalf. And we want for coming again, and the ministry consider them as first priority in the redistribution of this land, so that they will have authentic document and able for utilizing land without any money disturbing. So I want to tell you thank you very much.
Yeah, good afternoon. I think that's the last chief minister's office.
I was in a name,
Yeah, Kumba. representing DEEP. So,
Representing who?
DEEP, Development Initiative.
Okay, Development Initiative. Well, that is our SAPA.
So we don't get this report, and we don't get subsequent reports from this ministry before this time. We don't go through this report, although it not be made available before we get some. And then we don't watch the reports thoroughly, and then we can go on the site and see where we want to project and take me around the area for see how, I mean, when I come about for claiming the property again and for being the property of the state. For me, understanding when it comes to land and government, like continuity, past one time it will be claimed here that whatever they done happen, the previous government not apply to the land ministry again, because the law not apply again, because we see waiting they don't happen and we see waiting they happen now under the ministry. We documents on the council and then people the land and don't be taken from them, not to be authentic. But not that we did here for. This land issue, and from the same people within the ministry, don't write multiple reports. Plenty reports don't be written, and then reports then they and don't be addressed to stakeholders in the community. And the same reports, and like even this last one from the somebody we producer, I don't know, Mr. Jallo, and if you write other reports then maybe don't they come up from this ministry. So a little surprising for let the ministry come and tell me again about waiting then the previous heads of this ministry we don't do. And notwithstanding, we get reports of this property and how they register, and we don't see the role and responsibility of the Ministry of Land, not for just sign documents. If this document are property of the state, they encounter the resolve and sign, now you responsibility for just take money and sign. When investigate their properties there at any time when they come, because we somehow responsible for the problems when it happen. But you know, come and you come and sign a document where you know in a state land. You sign them as a private property, then kind of resolve it again as a private property. You take money again when you don't be paid. I don't know how that gets to be explained anyway, but I mean that would be taken. I mean then we'll explain that. And this don't happen, and reports they don't come out. So the ministry will explain to be better, you understand, and then the projections how it happened. And then it comes to and in the case of first strike on where I see, we like now. Denver in portion. I want to believe say there was a court judgment or there was a judgment in court for that particular area. And the ministry will explain that because I think which the land was gotten from, then this countenance part of the property and say okay because of a judgment was given in that, I mean for that particular portion. So it not fall inside the government. So it's a little surprising to me for more than 5 ministers of lands they don't come, and almost see that was a government area. As this ministry and I don't count state this is a government area. Or is it that all governments will be don't pass the lands the way they give, you know, authentic, now this government not authentic, we need to know that. Because we're confused now.
Okay, let's start with the very last one. You talk about why other governments they don't pick them up, why and now they pick them up. Well, the answer
same
is
people in the ministry.
Yes. Now we pick them up. The administration changed over time. The ministry, the same ministry, but the administration changed. Okay. Now one thing we clear is, and you said agree with me, if the wrong thing and only do them over time for a very long time, you don't become a norm. Not make them right because you don't become a norm. So if we pick them up, we need to put them right. We will put them right this time, and that is what exactly we have done. And that is the reason why you see the Ministry of Lands now as a sanitized Ministry of Lands. Okay, and not like the Ministry of Lands today because anybody be free. Land be don't turn a kind of like free meal for everybody. People that they see land, they're not even investigate and go and take them. That was a norm at the time, and waiting we don't do, waiting we could pick all NTR now, because before now we get fragmented records. We get with billing in England, we get all billing, and they get all documents and they have different archives. Then we also get some yeah. So imagine something they can have for process, then we get for check all the files and go to their offices, they with them all they don't store archives them, they go back to England before they get for sign the plan. So they go waste all the time. And we are not saying it was right that they didn't check. But then, because the system not been provided necessary infrastructure, there was no digital system, will not be able to transform the records and write, so we have been getting constraints at the time, okay? What we don't do now, the modern day Ministry of Lands don't do, is to digitize and transform all records. In fact, if I not say, most of we process them now, or they carry out online. You can sit down at the comfort of your house, you apply for most of our services for leasehold, freehold, and permits. They get all of that done. So in the same process, we apply, we check all the documents that we upload, we verify them to the digital records and back, we don't digitize. And we'll get everything. And we still keep the old manual records and back in case we get hacking or whatever. So that's for answer to your problem. That's number one. Then number two, we get waiting with a call land laundering. I tell you clearly. Now we get people and they believe say they can falsify documents them and come and apply for like building permit or they come for doing a resurvey. This is now a norm more don't pick now the new trend that one day now. And that has been there. This bentel when they pick them up, somebody got falsified document them. The way you tell them, say, no, this document is falsified, we are not going to do a resurvey of this one, okay, for amendment, no nothing. So if I would have made the document for you, they subject them to further CID investigations, and so these are the same people who really begin for negotiate. Well, we're not take some. You just had a story in the Bible where two women in the claim one begin. If now you get time, you know go say them go share. But they are so willing as you begin to talk, they say, well, I make a long come for long and take some and give you the balance. And we need to encourage that. We dey take them. We dey take them, and we need the only take out. We don't lock plenty as I'm speaking. Too many of the people in the Panama or prison. So this is exactly what we are doing now. When you come with 45 documents, we need to tolerate that. And we system they pick them up now very clearly. Yeah. So these are the same documents we deal with. And we think that this records them in the presentation and make it very clear. If you want verification after, we are open. Our records are open for people to see and clearly say, then document I will check, say 45, a 45. We will show you clearly say 45. Yeah? The document where you could see get for 1998 LS1500, we will show you. If I didn't have some of the document that we don't catalog for publications to the members of the public. Very soon, we'll go online and publish 45 documents then we people and don't get where they move around. When I go be shocked. When I go see the reason we make the public they straight forget land. We get for fair to members of the public. We get for fair to strong influential people who say they get money. We get for fair to people who say that you work against through the judiciary system. And we get for fair to people them where we feel say they get dogs them at the ground for make sure say we retrieve the land and give to people them way they don't get where they deserve them. So that is exactly. Now very soon we'll publish this when I go begin see. We saw that see one person they claim 400 acres, 200 acres, 500 acres, 800 acres. The document we will display for the public and we will invite you all back for that and see. And we don't capture all of the documents again. So these are some of the things that we the Ministry of Land do recently. And because we don't go purely digital, I make we pick all of them in there. I tell you.
No. I want the party to the land.
Yes, I want.
Good afternoon, everybody, Madam Minister. Let God bless you all as we dinner here, because this still don't take. As we brother PC, Brother Napoleon, remember we, Tambadauda, remember in the days of Konehima, Farmer, Melvin Cocker, and Tarawali and so forth and so on. In 2003, I will come into Ministry of Land. because there was a lot of confrontation and huge amount of land in the under, where they left by the colonial people, the British people. When you go there, you see the legacy, there are people that pull up. Or some of who get the evidences, the years they will be snap and will come to the ministry. So since that time, we engage with the ministry tell we for form committee, which we did. We come, we work with the ministry, we use Ubia hands, we brush, we pull we money them, we contribute for put baking them, SLS baking them, by the Ministry of Lands. Then the plot, after then Ebola come, everything be suspended, they say they know one crowd. We did on that, going on. People effect from this angle, this effect from this angle. We did Ministry of Land, we will letter of offer. That was in 2014. We did, I can present them. I don't be several ministers in here. Sometimes they can take them, they talk, then they say, when I will come in, when you come for see a problem, I they tell you. We not get lawyer, God nine our lawyer. Amen. We not get minister, and God nine our minister. Amen. Because we always in here, as Sierra Leone, and we get right to get property. We do have to commit to ministry. We not be doing the intention for let we get 10 acres on we own, but as a Sierra Leonean, they will get little. Then the community, as a Gloucester, when this land day, they for benefit by building, waiting, cemetery, community center, hospital. It don't happen. We put all that thing and they will outline. All of a sudden at autonomous. Now we sit down and they see one great person they come, they sell over hundreds of acres, which is Augusta Camara. When they turn and they Augusta and machine, the ministry, with the hire and for care for go work here. Now it dictates, I don't know whatever relationship be there between former ministers and the, that he listens so much that the way will get up to better, he will come, they will give promises. We tire for worker. You know, so in that case, I don't hear you with name at all. I make a call a mentioner. And we, as youths and people of Gloucester, but we don't die now. But we don't turn big man. But at least share the community benefits and let some people benefit. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'm not being for say this. I'm not being for say this, but let I bring this for your information. When I'm in the response to the Representative for Development Initiative Program, I tell you say this only happened because the administration don't change. Now, I go one for inform you say there was a time in this ministry where this land not until they don't get issue. Okay? Sure. Not until they don't get issue. From the time when assets and they acquire property and they. Now, I was the chatting officer at the time. There was a property where they said because I know say it fall on government property, I refuse for processor. Okay? And I refuse for process that particular property. That's 2012, 2013, we selected for tell you say before even going to Orleans for bed. I don't get all the records, and while I've been there starting officer, I refuse for process them. I even had problems with Mr. Kuroma at the time representing the people there. I said, no, Mr. Kuroma, I'm sorry, I can't. So we had serious tension as a chatting officer. I not really process them at all. And what they did at the time, they go work some other way. That particular refusal, they kicked me out of office. The then boss at the time kicked me out of the office. They went ahead and signed that plan. And that plan, they become the most controversial plan ever signed. Because they didn't listen to my advice. And I was kicked out of that in office by my boss because I refused for sign on that for process and NTND. And that matter went to the ACC, they investigated, it became a national issue. The president had to call to resolve that issue there because he reported the matter. So I come and this for just for showing that some of the team then. When we say this is not right, we need a compromiser. I was just a chatting officer at the time, and I rejected it. And up to this day, I rejected them. I reject them on one ground: the land is state land and it's government property. So if you ask why make that now, this the administration change. At that time, not in the captain seat, it was different. Now that I'm in the captain seat, okay? So that's the reason.
So we just take 2 more speakers. Just 2. Good afternoon all.
I'm for thank God for this wonderful team. We will all be together as family. And also for tell the minister, thank you, the deputy, director, and also Ms. Bao, and all other people who work in the Ministry of Lands. Because when we start this process, this latter part, we see say they all go up the bush, we all work hard till we will reach this also today. And just advise our for it to we all. They don't humiliate people, we get good reputation for this land there so. Like I mean, take Napoleon as a lawyer. 11 years back before they married, we all did it on that side. They don't die, other people they don't die, youth man they don't die in that place. Only thing we can say, I tell the people the other day we minister I said because we greedy, both Bathurst and Gloucester. Because we selfish and only make Ministry of Land body. Yeah. If we be able to foresee, you can imagine we get 9 acres, we talk about 79. If the other person get 9, you pull 40 or 50 acre land go left, go for able to manage yourself, ala no commodity. But not because we greedy and selfish. And then we say, over 20 years, we don't fit for this land. People don't die, they're not able to enjoy it. So me, I just want to talk to the ministry. Some of we, the people don't die, they're not even left land for me. And we really fed for land. Now we get with siblings there, we're able to get with the other people there. So we are praying that God continue to help people. And these are what they don't humiliate them, Napoleon, they don't talk all anything on social media about them. Oba, walk the good work, God will bless you. Amen. The director, let God bless you all. Thank you.
So before we get the last speaker, I just encourage you all. PH will make them clear. You say if you have to verify the presentation you make, the office open to we all. So please, if we will get plenty of questions to ask after this conference, and I'll come to the office to later. I'm sure you will make yourself available, and I will verify all documents that we have to verify. Because we don't have to spend the entire day inside our today. So after the speaker, we will close for today. Mr. Sama, Bathurst, Junction. I thank Mr. Dauda because of so many warmth we get at the Ministry of Course. We didn't take for come out with this wonderful document. It's a hectic job. But there's one thing where I want to put to the ministry. If they look at and say the ministry, they run away from their duty and responsibility. What do I mean by that? Now, we did, Mr. Minister, in the say, and I do believe that the land where they in this country belongs to Sierra Leone government. And therefore, I even be surprised when I see Milanet director, they show say this part of the land that government get them. You know, ladies and gentlemen, most people there where they call their name and they're not to create name the way me area. So it tells you that we are all grabbers. So me to me, I believe say the ministry will take more into it and make more policy about land ownership in this country, in this peninsula. We need to do more and make better laws. We will make really that, I mean, how can somebody own, let's say 1 acre? It's not possible. You know, and who gave it to him, or not even receive that deal of gift from people, so all of them think they will get a lot of carry inside the whole thing. We are not asking, answering the question for now. So I stop so fast.
Hello. Good afternoon. Again, I'm Theophilus Johnson, man of Bathurst. And I'm really happy for the part of this meeting. And I believe this will happen long before now. Because Bathurst, Regent, Charlotte, Gloucester, previously, before we said the mountain villages, we are all interrelated. But the land issue in this country don't create serious problem. And I'm happy, as I speak, that Ministry of Lands don't call me for really tell me waiting the actual status of that land when they will the fetch for. We don't tell the fetch. The amount of people who don't die, we can't hear that. We don't talk on that. And some of we, when our stakeholders, them, when our leaders and community, we don't have a bad name. There was a time when community people tell we say we will connive with government, but put the land at the hand. Because we believe say we and the government, we don't affect government too. We they appeal to government for see a need for support the citizens. One thing we director will give a very comprehensive report of waiting. But one thing we stand out very clear we will to address it today. And they see that problem come up from Charlotte again. We're not able to establish waiting the actual boundary between them villages. We don't get all these problems, we don't get solutions here. Because if I don't know, say me that you feel Johnson in Bathurst village, here in Bathurst, here in Gloucester, there is no need. I will let Bathurst for go claim land in Gloucester. It's not possible. Like my brother said just now, most of the people who invest for land, their land they hear the names there. Oh, that's now. Who are they? They're Theophilus Johnson, they're Hamilton, they're Gabidon. You understand it? So, you know, a lot of things. But one thing where I want to say, tell or thank you, the ministry will come in. And we don't take on this. Like the Honorable Minister say that appeal to the Ministry of Lands, let them consider the people we don't stick with them, we don't fight for this land. We don't die. We don't fight for ensure that place they did like I did so. But director, remember say in 2016, 2017, when I'm calling to a meeting, you and the former minister Diana Konomani was signing at Gloucester Saddle. And I'm sure we say we identify the state land, their communities are with him, and they have benefit. But to date, for me from 2018, I know the work at 80. I don't see mentors from the community. We don't see other communities, the Ministry of Lands, don't see other communities, the neighbor community, Charlotte. They don't be there. But if we get 1,665 acres of land, we cover the boundary between Bathurst and Gloucester. Then now, we don't forget land for basic things that we need as a community. And even the people that will not occupy this land at the time, where some people present documents, yes, we want to take responsibility. The Ministry of Lands will take responsibility as well. In as much as we said they take responsibility, whether we work about now, or some of you tell our ministry one document, will these people that will talk to we, will be survey or will go survey for we. So if the system not be okay at the time for accommodate with documentations and what we will do, the Ministry of Lands said they will take responsibility. But as we go forward, in as much as you don't tell we say the land in as a state land, where we want to give the land out or we want for Sheba, we want to consider the two major villages that they are blocked ahead. Yes. So that at the end of the day, we will say we don't go. That peace we want, and the both villages in the day. Because I will tell you again, there was a time when the council of Gloucester, first person. There was a time me, I don't get my pastor Gloucester. Nobody don't get my Gloucester pastor Bathurst. So if we don't consider sooner today, I want to appreciate the ministry, the minister, everybody will come for campaign this occasion. But when we consider the people, we will not suffer. Our community, the way they did, then we serve benefit going forward. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. We don't conclude everything. So, Page, there could be telling now. We got plenty of for submission. Then we'll come later. Then we'll go. That's what you said. You can see all day. So then we'll see you. Finally, let's see you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
We want to say thanks to the Honorable Minister and the entire team who are here today. I think today, many councillors are one of the councillors of the Western area who are listening. Extension Gloucester. Today now, call a judgment day. But one disappointing thing we may want to say the fact that from where we don't get engagement as leaders, whenever we come to this matter, one person they will not see. And I am one of the key persons on all 10 representatives in the Senate. We need to make them very clear when I was suffer. But no sooner we come here just now, you go put these articles and they go in the name. Which of course, some of you not going to take that again. I want to say this to the minister. And we're going to take responsibility for we own community. Our suffer from all indications they will only attend meetings, how we get the land from the people. But you don't respect the people. Even when you, the minister or the ministry, whenever they call on an NMS, when they still go at the site on verification, you know they go as the representative in the Senate. And that are complete insubordination. He is also a member of parliament now. Not to the Terrain activist. But now she is a member of parliament. And if government official call you for good, but all the time they dodge. But whenever the meeting done, you will see all articles fly all over. We all are desperate in the cause for what will happen. We not go take land anymore. After whatever we don't agree, we too go on to say as authorities. We too not agree, we go enforce them. Yeah, we too agree. You are right. We go enforce them. That will not be compromise them. When the community don't lose all this while, they will say they get that talks and they come other things. We don't go tolerate it anymore. And I'm happy for the ministry that they already get a system they don't put where they want to go for all the lands and now they already deploy securities there on the ground. But we said now Gloucester we don't receive few securities and we on the ground. And we will work with them to ensure say the right thing happen. Land business is not easy, we all know. But when they pan also one great man will go 20, 40, 50 acres, the other people will deprive. Because you take and say you have money. We will not take that anymore from any other person. So we are ready and we are determined to ensure to work with the ministry. All this while it's over, all years in London, but this particular case, it's over a year. Oh, they belong to the president, or let them go reach at this point. So whatever the issue we come here today, we now with the whole, and we are ready to implement it to the fullest. And Mr. Minister, we found in India, the Bathurst in Mami, they talk Jason. Gloucester, Leicester, and all the other sides, especially Gloucester, Bathurst, and Charlotte. With social amenities, it's a very grave concern. We need the number or acreage the government do not take. Out of that one that will tell you, say, will not even get 2 or 3 acres as community. Now, each of the communities. It's a very grave concern. And waiting that will concern, whenever government they take their land and they first thing doing planning and for member the community. But I will tell you, it's a grave challenge. And when they challenge there, they come, later they know kind of the ministry. Now the council say they go. One market to not get. One is to not get land. Now we they get that thing. And now if we not correct it, then it will be difficult for we. So lastly, we also concerned about the dump site now the district. You not just talk about Leicester, Gloucester. And we already are half of way there. We already are saying West the who are now there. If we turn not done, we not get site for 2 dirty. It's very serious concern now. If we not address this issue now, it not will be addressed again. Now only now for land already, we will be able to bomb all long road. But this particular we really need for closer. Thank you very much.
On that note, we conclude this meeting now. Just 1 or 2 things quickly. I see somebody maybe announcing himself. Now, Ophelius, now, don't see, now. Man. Okay. You know him, man. You know the Bathurst head, man.
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Theophilus Johnson.
At Bones Island, you come out. So not create return. Oh, you see justice things. Looks like career Leone and a bounty come out. Most of the way they created in the Johnson. Go on a Bones Island. They still say They all come out. When the pass to Purekaya. So not talking of Lithuania, no. I lost in lost track. So I'm going to tell you, thank you. We have to work together. And what's important also, we go to the community when I keep the peace. We do the best as a government to make sure everyone get access in own land. Yes, sir. On access for helping for all do that. Very important. Zakaria say community facilities, land for community facilities. Therefore, work hard for make sure to make provision for renting. Director, make sure say there is provision for some states. Yeah. Again, under the council, owner says until they can report to me. Inside the way government they don't mark over 20-30 years. When I dump site, I don't go sell all. I don't give people like all. They don't give shop a day. So now, when assessment man don't cause both the municipal and the rural district. They the council. Oh, you ask whether it's not council seller. Whether it's not council here. That's not your role as a council. What's your role? And for make use of the land, I need you for. Not to let go begin the seller. But then in a different thing, we can compile the documents. Say, oh, they ready? I let the Rob Milos come and show them the broker. Yes, and the state property. The state property council, the council listen. Council they have no business. This is state land. The state land they give them for a purpose. So if you don't get use of and return it to the states, or they can compile this day. And we say really freedom to go with the do. That go so they need freedom. Because as long as I don't in the interest of the state, I need freedom. I need freedom at all. At a point in time, certain people are therefore take certain responsibility for the advancement of the state. So this question of we shy from taking decision, no, we take her. And I don't see one today from this report. No, so we don't take the decision. So we pursue her. Now keep the community quiet. There should be peace. Anything happen, when I wait now for the directorate of service, we'll get back to her. Yeah? So now thank you. Let's say it'll be peaceful.
Right, folks, don't forget to
subscribe to this channel now.